Hello friends, in today's lecture we are going to discuss about some basic elements of scientific research. What are those basic elements? Those are concept, construct and hypothesis. But before we look into these particular basic elements, if you remember in the last class I told you that in today's class we are going to look into some practical demonstration of how to do the reviewing of literature. So, before the ICT era, most of the time student used to go to library and they look into different research publications. It may be journal, it may be magazine, it may be indexes, it may be handbook, and take a note of from these and make summaries for the reviewing of literature. So, one of the popular methods was used by the students and still used is index card method. So, index cards are commonly used to store and organize small amount of information. Now, index card generally have item, title, synopsis, source, etc. And it also contain the summaries or summarizing information. It is one of the basic main purpose of index card method, that to summarize the information and indexed it or categorized it according to the need of the research or according to the convenience of the researcher. So, the origin of the index card can be traced back to the famous naturalist, the Carl Linnaeus, who is also known as the father of taxonomy. So, for the purpose of review of literature, the index card are generally made of cardstock, means those are heavy papers and they are cut into standard size and used for, as I already told, storing small amount of information. Now, for the purpose of your review of literature, you can simply cut the A4 size paper into two part or two halves and use it as an index card, and you can use color card also, okay, for better identification of the information you already searched for. Okay. So, here I presented a handmade index card, okay. So, that contain the information collected from the journals. So, if you look into this index card, it have 4 broad topic or 4 broad component. In the top side of the left hand corner, you will find out the title or the topic of the information collected. So, for this index card, the topic or title was sustainability of organic dairy farming. Now, the second component is the source. So, source may be a journal, magazine, book or any other research publication. So, the source here in this particular index card is ASEAN Journal of Dairy and Food Research. And also, if you look into the source, just below the source there is a number. Okay. So, this is a source number, means for a particular title or topic, like here it is sustainability of organic dairy farming, it is the 5th source, and it followed by in the index card there is summary of information collected. So, here what is the summary? Under Indian condition, rapid spread of organic dairy farming possible because some key geographical, cultural and economic advantages. So, these particular lines are derived by paraphrasing, means after reading the whole sources, summarize the information in their own language. So, paraphrasing is very important, because otherwise you will be fall in trap of plagiarism. Paraphrasing in your own language is the best possible option, but nowadays a number of AI tool like you all know ChatGPT, Quillbot. So, those are available to help you the paraphrasing the collected information. You can intelligently use those particular AI based software tools also. And at the end or at the right hand bottom corner, okay, you will find out the page number, that is the number of page of that particular publication from where this information was collected. So, in summary, also it is an small example of the simple index card. Okay. So, now another source of the reviewing of literature, another method of reviewing of literature is the use of bibliometric tools. So, bibliometric tools or bibliometric is used for uncovering crucial metrics concerning the source, document, author, keywords, countries where the researches are going on a particular topic, okay, to identify those information in a most scientific way. And also most of the bibliometric software tools, those aids in classification and visualization of the publication based on a number of metrics like impact, interest, what are the trending topic, how much citation is going on, what are the core area, what are the niches area, what are the evolving or emerging topic. So, in this way bibliometric analysis can aid in not only for finding or reviewing the literature, but aid in the proper formulation of the research problem. So, here I gave the example of the trending topic based on the bibliometric analysis and the authors who are collaborating with each other. So, as I told in the previous class, let us have a look into how to use one bibliometric tool known as a Voss viewer. It is the most popular bibliometric tools and it is open source. So, for using the bibliometric software Voss viewer, the first what you need to go through any scientific database. Most of the reputed journal maintain their database, like you can find out the Scopus database. Now, you can use the Web of Science database, but one thing you have to keep into mind, these databases are not free. You have to, or your organization must have subscription so that you can access those databases. But there are a number of free database also, like you can find out or you can use the Dimension AI, that is an free database for bibliometric analysis. So, for in this particular discussion, we will take a look into how to use the Scopus database. So, here it is the search engine of the Scopus database. As I told already, you must have subscription to use this particular database. So, first requirement for bibliometric analysis using the open source software of Voss viewer, that you have to extract the data of the publications from the Scopus database in the CSV format. Okay. And you can search by putting keyword. Let us assume that we are trying to find out what is the trend of research under farmer well-being. As you all know, we are gradually converting from the development focus is converting or transforming towards the measuring well-being. So, we are trying to find out what is the trend of research in this particular area. So, if you search the farmer well-being, okay, so the Scopus search engine will give you all the articles which are published or scientific publication which are published and indexed in the Scopus, which are related with farmers well-being. Now, there are a number of filter you can use according to the legal issues and according to the need of your analysis. Okay. So, for this purpose of demonstration, okay, I will limit all the publication to only the open access. Okay. Let us assume it is an bronze open access. So, I limit those information. Then what you need to do, you have to extract or export that information in the as CSV format. Okay. And then there also in the exporting window, you will find out a number of options that what information or how much detailed information you want, and you export the data. So, this data is successfully exported. Okay. Now, you have to go to the Voss viewer software just which you can simply download from the internet and install it. So, this is the interface of this particular bibliometric analysis tool. Then there you have to go to create, and here you already downloaded the bibliographic data. So, you will go to the second option, then you will click that read the data on the bibliometric database file, then you will go to, because we exported the data or extracted the data from the Scopus database. So, we will select the Scopus, and I will go to the places where I put that file, it is the scopus.csv. So, this file is imported into this software. Then you have to go to next option, where the number of options are available based on your requirement. Maybe you are trying to find out that how much citation, or maybe you are trying to find out who are the authors who are collaborating with each other, or which are the organizations which are collaborating with each other for research on your farmers well-being. Okay. So, I will click to the organization. So, there are number of other options available also. So, you can filter or use those filter for rectifying your data. Then you have to simply go to the next and finish. Okay. So, here you will find out that at present the most of the farmer well-being data or farmer well-being research are carried out in number of department and state. Like in India, you will find out there is CFDT and VCRI, Udum Palette, India. Okay. So, in this way there are a number of, so here it's the data is not refined, that is why the option are coming like that. Okay. So, as I told already, so you can look into all these information like number of countries where this data is or research is going on, or who are the authors. Okay. In this way you can easily locate the source which match with your requirement of your particular research you are taking up. So, now one thing the students of who are pursuing research as a purpose of their academic requirement, or maybe taking a project or working in the project, they must remember that it is a common mistake we generally used to make. Okay. So, in the process of reviewing of literature, we used to collect a number of information concerning our research topic, but and that is why there may be the numerous sources, and we forget to register or we forget to properly manage those sources, which create problem at the time of the report submission, which is again the last stage of any particular research or report writing. So, nowadays a number of AI tools are also available which can help you to do the proper reviewing of literature. Some of the tools I enlisted here, like Art Discovery is there, Litmaps is there, Site is there, Connected Papers are there, but one thing you have to remember, most of these tools are not free of cost. There are mostly they have two versions, where the basic version provide you limited functions, and the paid version you will find out all these functions. But these tools are very efficient to help the student to do the proper reviewing of literature. So, now coming to the main part of today's discussion, that is the basic element of the research. Before going to looking into the basic elements in terms of the concept, construct, hypothesis, I want to discuss about two basic process or two basic method of decision making or arriving in the truth. These we called inductive and deductive reasoning. So, what is reasoning? So, reasoning is a form of thinking which basically in which we look into a number of premises and relationship among the premises to arrive at a logical decision. What is premises? You can take it as a facts, observation, those are premises. So, there are two basic form of reasoning or two broader form of reasoning, that is deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning. So, what is the importance of reasoning in research? That will be evident from the statement I put into the PPT, that no matter how unrealistic it sounds, in many fields like science and law, proof simply does not exist, and there can only be facts and evidence that lead to certain conclusion. I think from this statement importance of reasoning is clear to you. So, research is a game of reasoning. So, reasoning that is based on facts, and it helps not only for generating research question, but also for solving that particular research question. So, as I told earlier, there is two broader form of it, deductive and inductive reasoning. So, now deductive reasoning, it was the brainchild of the famous philosopher Aristotle. In case of deductive reasoning, the researcher generally start with generalized information and he gradually go to the more specific conclusion based on this observation. So, deductive reasoning is a top down approach. So, in case of deductive reasoning, so there will be a premises and you will look into the relation between the premises. Like you take the example of the premises like the good student pass examination. You may have the second premises like Shruti is a good student. So, what will be the conclusion based on that? That Shruti will pass the examination. Now, whether this conclusion is true or not, that depend on the quality of the premises. If you are sure about truth of the premises, then you can draw with certainty a true conclusion. So, that means deductive reasoning generally leads you to the truth. On the other hand, there is another type of reasoning, we call them inductive reasoning, which is again the brainchild of or originator of this particular type of reasoning is Sir Francis Bacon. So, in case of inductive reasoning, we generally start with small observation or a number of observation and try to draw the wide ranging conclusion. Now, the quality of inductive reasoning depend on the number of observation you have. Like if you take the example that if there may be 3 dot is there. So, I am trying to demonstrate that what is the importance of observation. Okay. So, now based on the 3 dot, if I ask you what may be the shape or what shape you can imagine based on this 3 dot or you can draw based on this 3 dot. Okay. So, the first thing that came into the mind, it may be a triangle, but you are not sure, it may be an circle also. Okay. Now, let us increase the number of dots from 3 to 5. Now, what is the shape? Now, with the higher probability, you can tell that it is probably an triangle. So, that means I am trying to demonstrating that in case of the inductive reasoning, the theory or the quality of the conclusion or generalization depend on the number of observation you have. Now, the Aristotle, the originator of the deductive reasoning, he assumed that the deductive reasoning is much more superior in nature, as it can help you to arrive to the truth with the certainty, whereas inductive reasoning is mostly probabilistic in nature. So, in case of scientific research, both the inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning is important. The purpose of the scientific research is arrive to the truth, that is the theory. Okay. But also you have to keep into the mind that this, in case of scientific research, the truth depend on the empirical facts which keeps on changing. So, inductive reasoning can give you the probabilistic truth if the facts change. So, that is why both the inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning are very much important for the purpose of the research. So, now coming to the next important aspect, that is the concept of concept and construct. So, by now you already get that starting and ending point of the research is theory, and theories are basically the interconnected concept. So, what actually concept is? So, concept is an abstraction formed by generalization from the particulars. So, it will be more clear if you look into the example, like the light, temperature, productivity, age, these are the example of the concept. So, you can measure those things, you can observe those things also. So, concept are man-made term that is developed through the inductive process. As I already told, inductive reasoning means you start with a particular specific information or observation and you draw wide ranging generalization. Along with the concept, there is another term is there, we call them construct. Okay. What is construct? Let us from the sociological or behavioral science, you take the example of the intelligence, anxiety, motivation of these particular aspect. So, can you equate it with the concept, example of the concept like light, temperature, productivity, age, etc.? No, because these particular concepts are not measurable directly or not observable. So, but these are the main things we deal with in the social sciences or behavioral sciences. So, these particular type of concept which are not visible, directly measurable or observable, we call them construct. Similarly, like the concept, construct are man-made terms and with added meaning which are deliberately and consciously invented for the special scientific purpose. So, what is the role or importance of the concept in the research? So, along with the role, so obviously concept is developed or construct is developed for the purpose of the scientific research and for theory building particularly. So, these concepts have a number of important positive role in the research, but at the same time the students or researchers should be cautious about the limitation of this concept also. The concept, as I already told, is developed from the shared experiences, and it simplify the communication among those having shared understanding. But you have to keep into the mind, the concept is like an new language which have shared meaning within a particular scientific community only. So, outside, any people outside the community of scientific community, they may not understand the meaning of the concept. Also, this concept simplify the research process by combining the particular characteristics, object or people into more general categories, or people may differ in terms of what ICT tool they use or how much they use. So, if you are studying on use of the ICT tool or ICT tool using behavior of the people, okay, you can classify or categorize them or this numerous observation to the ICT literate or ICT enabled family. So, these basically provide you or this leads you towards the making generalization, but you have to remember the limitation also. The terms used to denote scientific concept may also have meaning in the other frame of the reference, and these terms may refer to different phenomena also. Like if you take the example of the culture. So, culture means it is the sum total of the social heritage. Now, you go to the bacteriology, culture means a medium, and for the common people culture means maybe your acquaintanceship with the painting, literary activity, poetry, etc. So, you have to keep into mind these particular factors, and also the different terms may refer to the same phenomena. So, as the concept evolved, so status, or you take the example of the some primary, secondary, formal, informal. So, those particular primary, secondary, formal, informal, they have almost similar meaning, you cannot differentiate into them, and also the some concept or some terms we use for the concept making may not have immediate empirical referent at all. Like most of the concept in the science, they are derived from the Latin or Greek languages, which may not have equivalent meaning into the present languages. And as a matter of fact, like society change, the meaning of the concept also change, but the importance of the concept is in the theory building, because if you remember, theory is again the first component of the theory is that it is the group of interrelated concepts. So, another important part in developing in the concept is that how to define it. So, defining the concept is very important for the theory building as well as for measuring the concept. So, coming to this particular defining a construct or concept. So, how you can define a word? So, you can define a word by another word, or you can simply describe, or you can simply define a word by describing what action is or behavior it expresses. Like if you try to define the word intelligence, okay. So, you can define it by it is mental acuity, or you can define it that a particular child will be able to read a particular text or read a particular mathematical problem, then he or she is an intelligent child. So, in the similar way, a construct can be defined by another construct. We call this definition a constitutive definition, or it can be defined by specifying the activities or operation necessary to measure it. We call it operational definition. Now, this operational definition, it may be two different types. We call it measured operational definition and experimental operational definition. So, measured operational definition describe how a variable will be measured, and experimental operational definition, it spells out how the details of the manipulation of the variable, and both of this definition is very important for the point of view of the concept and construct, because without the constitutive definition you cannot integrate an particular findings into an theory, and without operational definition you cannot measure that particular relation among the phenomena or measure that particular concept. So, both of them are very important in the scientific research. So, in today's class we discuss about the rest part or the practical part of how to use different tool for review of literature. Like we talked about how to use bibliometric tools, we talked about manual method of the reviewing, that is the index card method, and we introduced the concept of concept as a basic part or elements of the research, and also we talked about the construct and what is the importance of the concept or construct in research, and the first step of defining a concept in terms of other construct or other concept, and how to measure it to integrate it into the process of the research. For the purpose of the further reading, you can follow this textbook. Thank you.